video for you guys today. If you can't tell, I have done this eyebrow and I have left this eyebrow alone because I got a request on how to, on a tutorial on my eyebrows and eyeliner from a recent video. I was going to include eyeliner in this video, but I realized the eyeliner tips that I have are actually very simple. They're identical to the tips that I got off of Pixiwoo. So I will link the Pixiwoo eyeliner video down below, which I watched a really long time ago when she first posted it, for tips on how to put on eyeliner. I typically use a liquid liner, a felt tip, like liquid liner pen, so I find it actually very easy to control. This one is the Dollywink one. It's a very thin brushed eyeliner, so it's pretty easy to control. But yeah, I will link that video down below because again, I just felt like I wasn't offering anything new in terms of tips on how to do eyeliner. I didn't have anything different from most of the videos that I have watched. But I did want to do a video on my eyebrows because I've never done one before, and everyone's eyebrows are different. So I thought I would show you guys how I do my eyebrows, starting with grooming and care to how I fill them in, what products I use, and sort of how I keep them set and all of that. So yeah, if you guys are interested in this video, keep watching. Otherwise, I will have a nail polish video on Friday for you guys. But yeah, I just thought that I would show you how to do how I do my eyebrows. And that is it. So I hope you guys are doing well, and if you guys are interested in how I do my eyebrows, keep watching. So what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to leave this eyebrow alone and I'm going to do this eyebrow for you guys. I am not wearing any makeup today besides some mascara, as well as I have concealer on my nose because I broke out right there. It's like the only blemish that I have today. And some lip gloss just so that I don't look super like terrible. But anyway, I am going to go through literally all of my brow steps. There's a ton of sirens outside, and it's also stormy outside, so if it's just like windy and rainy and sounds like everyone is dying outside, that's why. So what I normally do to take care of my brows, to like groom them and such, I will get a spoolie. This is the MAC spoolie, which you absolutely don't have to buy, but for whatever reason, when I was in the middle of my just starting YouTube phase, I thought that maybe the MAC spoolie would be better than other spoolies. It's not. It's a spoolie. But anyway, what I do to groom my brows once in a while, aside from the plucking, is I will take a spoolie and I will brush all the hair up like this. My brows actually aren't that bad right now, but I'll do that. And then I will get a pair of nail scissors. These are just random nail scissors that I purchased. They're very sharp. And I'll go in, and what I will do is cut whatever like super long hairs there are in my eyebrow. You know, I can like move them down with my finger again. They don't look super long. I tend to leave the brow hair over here alone just so that I have enough brow to like go in that direction, because my eyebrows basically stop right here, and I don't know. I have super full brows, but they're also very like short. They end. So yeah, that's basically how I groom my eyebrow. I just make sure that the hair is not super long. You can see on this side, I have to take care of some of these because they're a little bit long and unkempt. But yeah, I tend again not to go too far over, because once upon a time I went too far over, as you can see in that little bald spot, and it just hasn't grown back in the last like year. So that is how I maintain the shape of my eyebrows. I don't actually go and get my eyebrows waxed anymore because I just don't have the time for it, but I found that sort of regularly maintaining my brows like this helps everything to look nice. Again, I mentioned just like tweezing errant hairs that grow in around in this area or above and around. I go in pretty much every day and see if there's anything that needs to be tweezed out, and I will tweeze them out. Again, leaving alone the main part of my brow. I have very naturally dark and thick like hair on my eyebrow, and it grows in kind of on the coarse side, and it grows pretty long, so I'm pretty lucky in that regards to be able to have that in my eyebrows. How I fill in my brows is actually mostly to do with the end part, which I will now show you. What I use primarily for my eyebrows is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. I'm in the color Ebony, which looks like this. This I think is the darkest brown. It's also a cool brown, and I will use an angled brush for this, and what I do is get a little bit of the product on the brush, and then I will go in onto the cap of the actual product, like the cap of the little tub that it comes in, and I'll basically rub off the excess that's on the brush that I put on there. And this is mostly by feel and by look. I can see how much product is on the brush. This particular angle brush I only use for my eyebrows. I have not used this for anything other than my eyebrows in years. So I don't tend to wash it very often, but I found that that actually helps the product work on the brush better, if that makes any sense. Like it helps the product in the brush, it helps the product apply on my brush or on my eyebrow, not super defined and not super obviously drawn in. So at about the point where it looks like I've gotten half of what I put on the brush onto the cap of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade cap, then I go in and I always start at around this part of my brow. So right where my arch is, I start there, and what I like to do is do the arch of my brow and then start pulling the product slowly outwards. And typically I will end it around here, which is if you take your brush, go from your nose to the corner of your eye and out, that's the point where I normally end, and I can kind of free eyeball it, hand, whatever, because I have a mole right there and it stops basically in that linear progression from my mole to here. So that's what I do with the Dip Brow Pomade. I basically sculpt out the shape that I want on the outer part of my eye, and then I go back into the arch of my brow and fill in any sparse spots, and then I slowly pull the product inwards so that when I get to the actual front of my eyebrow, there's not a ton of product on here, so it doesn't look super drawn in. And then I just take small flicking upward motions. I have the brush sideways, completely sideways, with the pointy end towards my nose or the center of my face, and I do small flicking movements up. So you can't actually see that there's like a line where I, start my eyebrows. And so that's how I keep it as naturally looking as possible for me. And then I just keep doing that until I'm satisfied with how filled in they are. You can already tell the difference between this brow and this brow, like how much better it looks and how much more it's actually like helped frame my face. Sometimes I will just end it at that. I'll either go back with the spoolie or with my actual brow product and brush the brow gel in, make all the hairs in a nice place, and it'll set my brow for the rest of the day. If I'm starting to, well, recently I've started to feel like I needed to do a little bit more with my eyebrows, so I have gone in with my Makeup Forever eyebrow pencil. This is the number 5 color, which I believe is the darkest brow color. This is still available at Sephora. I talked about this in my February favorites video. I really love this eyebrow pencil. It is quite chalky. It feels a little bit like charcoal itself, instead of like a creamy eyebrow pencil, which I feel like helps with, there is just one piece of hair that will not get out of my face. I feel like that helps with making it look, again, as natural as possible. So recently I've been going in with this and slowly adding in a little bit more texture to my brow by doing just little small flicks. And I've been able to go in with this and help make sure the outside shape of my eyebrow is neat. So I'll go in like this, and again sort of extend my eyebrow outwards a little bit. This I also like to put in that little bald spot right there because I can precisely get in there because it has a nice tip. So that's essentially what I do every day for my brows. Now again, if I'm feeling super fancy about my eyebrows, I will once in a while go in with a mixture of a matte brown and a matte black eyeshadow. These are from the Sleek Storm palette and they just happen to be the matte brown and matte black eyeshadow that I use the most. And I'll go in with either this brush, my angle brush from before, and again just add in a little bit of texture or a little bit more dimension, and use the eyeshadow to kind of set the eyebrow with the gel and the pencil in there as well. I forgot to mention that the very actually first step before I do my eyebrows, generally I'll have an eyeshadow base on my eye already because I put this on first before I do my eyeshadow, and I take a little bit of it into my eyebrow. So that helps keep everything in place as well. Just this is the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. That also helps everything, the color and the pencil and everything, set on my eye really well. I forgot to do that today because obviously I'm not wearing any eyeshadow. It was sitting there, so I should have remembered, but I forgot. But anyway, after I'm done with all my eyeshadow, the thing that I like to do to keep my eyeshadow from looking too messy is get a matte light highlight shade like this one. This is from the CoverGirl Nudes palette. This is in the color Shell. It's a matte color, and this is a MAC 224, which is a nice fluffy blending brush. And generally I take it right underneath my brow and sweep it down around like this. And I feel like that also helps highlight my brow a little bit so that my actual eyebrow looks a little bit neater from the underside. And then at this point I would powder my face and do all my blush and then do my highlight. Today the highlight that I'm going to use is going to be the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed in Moonstone, which looks like this. And I'll get it on my regular face highlight brush. And what I like to do is actually, well, I start with the top part of my cheekbone like this, and I'll take whatever is left and actually run it right underneath my brow. It's not a super precise highlighting tool for my eyebrow, but because there's not very much product left after I do my actual face highlight, I can take whatever is underneath and it highlights really nicely without it being too heavy and too obviously highlighting on my brow. After I do all my powder is actually when I do my brow gel. This is the Illamasqua brow gel, which I got on Haute Look a while ago. I really like the Julep one as well. I love the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel. This I will take and just make sure that all the brow hair is in place and in line with the brow that I drew on my face. So that is how I do my eyebrows. As you can see, this is the one that's done, and that looks much better than this one, which is not done and not groomed and not filled in. I hope you guys liked this video and found it helpful to anyone that has trouble with their eyebrows. As for advice as to what types of products you should use, it's really up to you. It's up to what you're comfortable with. I started out using an eyeshadow and an angled brush to fill in my brows, and then I slowly moved to pencil, and then I moved to the Dip Brow Pomade when this was released to do my brows, and I've slowly gotten comfortable with each one and figuring out which one works for me. As of right now, as you can see, it is a combo of 2 products, 3 products if I'm feeling really fancy about it. So it's really up to you and what type of eyebrows that you want to have and what your eyebrows naturally are like. Again, I have a really coarse and like heavy eyebrow to begin with, so putting product in to extend it and just to fill it in doesn't make a super obvious amount of difference, because as you can see, this brow is dark on its own and it's like obviously fuller on its own. So for me, the products don't necessarily add too much to my eyebrow. They just help make sure that my eyebrows look even and like the length that they're supposed to be. So yeah, it's really up to your personal preference and comfort in what you want to use. I would say starting with an eyeshadow is probably the easiest because you have control over how much product you can put on. It's pretty easy to control and to limit like how heavy your eyebrow looks with an eyeshadow, and then slowly work towards pencil and then the pomades that are available. But yeah, I hope this was helpful to anyone that has issues with their eyebrows. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys liked this really quick mid-week video. I have another Flashback Friday nail polish video on Friday for China Glaze. If you guys missed my first one, it is the OPI one. I will link it down below. Otherwise, I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys soon.